We watched all 9 seasons of a celebrated sitcom in an attempt to cheer up, but it was all to no avail. I wanted to die. That was 10 years ago. Fast forward to today, and I wish my story had a happy ending to share with you, but it doesn't. At least not the way most people describe as happy. I am not physically healed. Although I have reasonable control over my arms and hands, I am still disabled. I can't drive, shake hands, pick up my children, open most doors, put on my seatbelt, flush the toilet, turn a key, do most household chores, change a diaper, or lift more than a couple pounds. My arms hurt all the time. I live with the burning pain from my elbows down to my forearms 24 hours a day. Sometimes I feel like ripping my arms off my body, though I often chuckle that I don't actually have the strength to carry out that task. I am even developing a new tingling sensation and weakness in my legs. Throughout this journey, I have struggled greatly with depression, and some days life seems completely hopeless. But something in my life did change. About 2 months away from starting a new church, I began to see the sun peering out from the clouds of depression. Our friends Brady and Amber graciously and gently rebuked me for being a self-centered and hurtful husband. I was also convicted of my own hypocrisy as a man who was about to preach to others when I was not living a life of grace myself. The most vital change was a rediscovery of God and His gospel. All 3 of these things happened at about the same time, and for the first time in a couple of years, the darkness started lifting. It did not totally disappear, but I saw the light of Christ once more. I again hoped in God. I began embracing my trials as something God meant for my good and His glory. I found hope again in the one God of the universe. The Lord began to teach me what the late British preacher Charles Spurgeon meant when he said that trials teach hard lessons. Spurgeon struggled greatly with depression throughout his life and ministry. At the age of 22, 7 people died in a stampede during one of his sermons after someone in the crowd yelled, "Fire!" He never got over that night. He also faced intense public slander during his ministry. His wife, Susanna, was an invalid from her early 30s and could rarely attend church gatherings to hear her husband teach God's Word. Physical affliction also marked Spurgeon's own life as he struggled with intense and agonizing seasons of gout. His body ached continuously from rheumatism and inflamed kidneys. Due to these sicknesses, he was out of his church's pulpit about a third of the time, and the dark clouds of depression often hung over him. He once wrote about his depression, "My spirits were sunken so low that I could weep by the hour like a child, and yet I knew not what I wept for." All this continued until God finally took him home at the age of 57. How did Spurgeon persevere through his trials? A clue was found in a quote often attributed to him. "I have learned to kiss the wave that throws me against the rock of ages." What does it mean to kiss the wave? When I am in the midst of suffering, I am doing my best just to keep my head above water as the stormy waves of suffering crash over me. I have often longed to be lifted out of the rough and dark waters that feel as if they are engulfing me. I have spent many long nights despising those waves. I have never thought about kissing them. I don't think Spurgeon gives us trite advice, pretending as if suffering is not difficult. I also don't think he is telling us to act as if our situations are easy. Just try harder and kiss those waves. No. Spurgeon tells us that God is doing more in our suffering than we can see with our eyes. None of us enjoys adversity. We want out. And yet, God in His grace uses suffering for our benefit. Spurgeon has good advice for us. Stop flailing your arms in panic.